Hello. Some of you may notice I look a little bit younger in this episode, and that's because I pulled all the white hairs out of my beard. I've been doing it for 20 years. I use a magnifying mirror and tweezers, and I pull out every single white hair. Every white hair has to be eradicated. And I'm ashamed about this because it's not male grooming, it's ethnic cleansing. My name's Paul Rickis, and welcome to me, not live, in London. So, with the death of George Floyd in America, I suppose it's a good time for me to tell you about some of my interactions with the police. Story number one was when I was at university. In the first week, I got a letter from the principal asking me to come in for a meeting, and I turned up. He was there, obviously, but sat next to him was the deputy head of the county police force. And I sat down and I said, well, how can I help you, gentlemen? And the deputy head said, well, welcome to the Northwest. I'm here because I want you to help me with a problem. We don't have many black people living in the county, and I just wondered, would you make yourself available for identity parades? Really? Yes, it would be doing us a huge favour, so I've asked the principal if we can have your address so we know where you live at all times. So I said yes. I left the meeting and thought no more about it until I moved off campus. Then the police, knowing where I lived, became a bit of a problem because they were at the end of my road every day of the week, and they arrested every one of us that lived in the house for traffic offences of one kind or another. So I got arrested in a car. I got arrested on the back of a motorbike. And most stupidly of all, I got arrested on the front of a tandem. It was late at night. We were both a little bit drunk and riding back from the campus to home when we saw a police car flash its lights. We decided to duck down an alleyway towards the River Mersey, but when we got to the end of the alleyway, there were 4 police cars waiting for us. Of course they were waiting for us because they knew where I lived. Second story was a May Day protest where kettling was first invented, and we were trapped there for several hours. So I turned to a police constable and I said, "Oi, copper, can you do me for what I'm thinking?" And he said, "No, sir, this is a free country. You can think what you want." And I said, "Okay, I think you're a complete twat." To be honest, I might not have used those exact words. Sorry, left my phone on. Yeah, I'm filming at the moment. Yeah, don't worry. I'll probably edit this bit out. The coronavirus admits it's jealous of the Black Lives Matter protests.
I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe!
They've stolen my catchphrase.
Who knew that protesting would make a comeback during a pandemic? First, we had the protests by the alt-right and assorted loonies about the lockdown measures. In America, they even brought their guns with them just to make certain they were peaceful. And President Trump supported them. Then after the death of George Floyd, we had the Black Lives Matter protests, which President Trump didn't support. It all depends who's doing the protesting. And just so you know, I support the Black Lives Matter protests. On the negative side, there's been some violence, but on the positive side, all my old material about the 2011 riots in the UK is now topical again. Racism, like leather jackets and DM boots, never quite goes out of fashion. And I abhor violence. It's the only thing I do abhor. Everything else I might not like or just don't fancy it. But violence, abhor. And the thing about protesting is that you never know if it's 2 arsehole mates rioting and looting might turn up along with it, like 2 uninvited guests at a house party. And I hate looting. Not to be confused with looting, unless we're talking about looting in Luton And as you know, it's near Bedford. And the problem with rioting and looting is they always go together. They're inseparable. They're like the Ant and Dec of civil disorder, but obviously in blackface.
Music is contagious, so here's 20 classic tracks that will stoke up the fever. Now that's what I call music, COVID-19, with infectious tracks from the 60s.
I thought lockdown rules were just a fairy tale, followed by someone else, but not by me. The virus out to get me, that's the way it seems. Disappointment till there's a vaccine. Now it's test and trace, and I'm a believer. You coughed in my face, spat into my mind. I'm exposed, I'm a believer. I can leave here in 2 weeks' time.
The 1970s. Vaccine.
Human trials, just put on your green light. Just take Bill Gates' money. You don't have to test bleach in the sunlight. Vaccine. You don't have to ask me twice. If it costs no money, I don't care if it's wrong or if it's right.
And those naughty, naughty, naughties.
Never did no harm, never did no harm. Going to the rhyme. It's coming up, 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 it's coming up. It's there.
Now that's what I call music, COVID-19. Get it before it goes viral. So, the next act from London, innit? Eh?
Hi, and who we got here? Thank you, Simon, for your question. And I'll assure you, it's a question that we really think is important to address. So I refer you to our scientist here, who will give you more detail.
Good afternoon. His name is Matt Hancock, and he's from London.
So, what is it you do, Matt?
He's a comedian.
Okay, good luck. Good afternoon. Nicole, knock knock.
Yeah, who's there?
I think it's an important question, so I'll refer you to our scientist for a more detailed answer.
His name is Matt Hancock, and he's from London.
Now, an important question is, how many Conservative ministers does it take to change a light bulb? Well, first of all, I want to thank you for your question about light bulbs. We are entirely pro-light bulb, and our party has always been pro-light bulb, and we understand your concerns about light bulbs.
Yeah.
We've reached our light bulb changing target, although in most cases we've just posted the light bulbs to the fittings for later changing. But for more detail, I'll refer you to our scientist.
The answer is however many Dominic Cummings tells Boris Johnson.
One of the intriguing things about this pandemic is the use of the word numbers. To begin with, it was a euphemism for infections and deaths. Those were the numbers we were looking at. And now it's about the infection rate, otherwise known as the R number. We're looking specifically at the R number all the time, and it's a bit of a binary choice. From 0 to 1 is good. From 1 and above, we're fucked. And the thing about the R number is we realised it's going to be different in different parts of the country. So in Liverpool, it could be the RA number. In Manchester, it could be the Arcade number. And in the West Country, it could be the R number. I thank ye.
Secretary of State for the Home Department, Priti Patel. And Secretary of State for Health and Social Care, Matt Hancock. in the top 10 catchphrases in the government's daily coronavirus updates and what they really mean. Number 10.
Ramping up. We're rolling that out right now.
Ramped up, rolled out. A definition is similar to the Spanish word mañana, meaning that action will happen at some point during this millennium if we're lucky. Summed up by the fact that when something is ramped up, it seldom can be rolled out. Number 9.
Key workers.
Key workers.
Key workers.
Key worker. A worker that the government didn't care about before the pandemic. Or somebody who works at Timpson's. Number 8.
Unprecedented time.
Unprecedented times.
Unprecedented times.
Unprecedented times. Which means the government wasn't ready for this. Even though they should have been. Number 7.
Our NHS.
Our NHS.
Our NHS.
Our NHS. Which means it's our NHS until we sell it off to American companies in 2 years' time. Number 6.
PPE.
PPE. Which means reusable workwear or bin bags. Number 5.
Patrick, do you want to?
And on the second part of the question,
whether that has
Referring the question to the expert. Which means I've blagged this answer. Please save my arse. Number 4.
Difficult time. Difficult times. Difficult time.
Difficult time. Which means shit time for the government, shit time for you. Number 3.
lockdown.
Lockdown.
Lockdown. Rules that apply only to you and not Dominic Cummings. Number 2.
Challenging time. Challenging time. An immensely challenging time.
Challenging time. Which means the same as difficult times. And number 1.
Taking the right steps at the right time.
Taking these measures at the right time.
We took the right measures at the right time.
Taking the right measures or steps at the right time. Which means a Marxist brother's approach to the facts. You've seen the figures, so who are you going to believe? The government or your own lying eyes?
So we're getting near the end of the 4th episode, and I have to say that I've enjoyed making every single one of these, but I have been checking how many people actually watched them. First episode has had 100 views, the other 2 not quite as much, and that isn't a lot. And I find this quite galling because last year I was paid to provide music for a Brexit video. I'm not a Brexiteer, I'm a Remainer, but I took the money and I did the music. And then my music wasn't even chosen for the final video. So I took the final video and put my music on it. And I posted that on YouTube, and so far that has got over 10,000 hits. 10,000 views. That's 10 times the amount that I've received for any of these episodes. So I have to ask myself the question, why the fuck am I doing this? Oh, look,